So, how do we get to health consciousness? Like you found Spiritual Arts Institute. We could talk a little bit about that. But, how do we define health consciousness, I guess, and then how do we get to it?
Yeah, great question, Ken. And you mentioned health consciousness, and that's exactly actually how we call it. It's a consciousness. We look at consciousness as it's a vibration, it's a state of mind, but it's even more than that. It's what we embody. So there's consciousness of love, there's consciousness of courage, there's consciousness of peace, right? But there's also a health consciousness, and it starts within. Just to give you kind of a tagline or whatever, the first book that Barbara Martin and Dimitri Moraitis, the founders of Spiritual Arts Institute, that they wrote, it was a spiritual bestseller, is Change Your Aura, Change Your Life, right? And really that's a spiritual law. If you change it first in consciousness, in your aura, it will manifest in your life. So we put a lot of focus on how do we change our consciousness of health. And in particular, when we look at health, we look at it as not only our divine right to be healthy, but we don't look at disease in the same way as, let's say, a lot of medical professionals, right? We look at ourselves as inherently healthy, inherently well-being. Yes, we could have an experience where we might be experiencing some, stress and experiencing disease, right? But that's how we have to look at it. Because if you look at it from that perspective, then you could say anything can be healed, because in consciousness, it is kind of our baseline, so to speak, in terms of where we're at.
I like that, and let's define something too. Let's define, because we're talking about being able to, heal some of these underlying stressors, and it's healed through what we would call, spiritual energy or prana or life force energy, or there's many different words for this, or the light. Is that what we're talking about here when we're talking where your path is?
Right. So when we define light, right, or divine, we can say energy, spiritual energy, called by many names, spiritual energy, divine light. We call that a conduit of consciousness. It brings in the consciousness that we're looking for. So as I said before, if we're looking for love, if that's what, let's say we're not feeling loving, or we're feeling judging, or we're feeling we have to have some forgiveness, right? Then we'll bring in the consciousness of love, and we do that through the divine light. So in our work, divine love, right, is brought in through the deep rose pink ray. So we will bring that in meditation. That's actually what we are channeling when we are doing a healing. If we're giving a healing to somebody, but we're using the deep rose pink ray to bring in the consciousness of love. Similarly, if we're looking for peace, it's purple. If we're looking for balance, it's emerald green. There's these different rays. So we call that spiritual energy. Yeah, yes, of course, in other traditions, prana has a kind of a different meaning. You do bring in light with the prana. That's kind of, I get a little bit on the side, but it's divine light that brings into consciousness, including the consciousness of health, right? The sapphire is the most powerful healing ray. So we as students or as healers, right, that's a major ray we're going to bring in.